Okay. All right, what we know so far is about
Hang on. Get up there, Don.
Okay, what we know at this time is that about 2:53 p.m. this afternoon, Akron Police Department did receive calls from the neighborhood here on Mogador Road. The address is about 3041 Mogador Road. Neighbors reported that they heard a loud explosion, they heard loud noises, and they reported that a plane had went down at that address. What we do know is that the plane, when it did go down, it struck the one house and then continued on into an embankment just behind that house. The plane became engulfed in flames, which ignited the residence that it originally struck, and then also continued on to another residence that was actually behind that house. The plane is reported to be a Hawker jet. It's a twin-engine plane. It's approximately a 10-passenger plane. At this time, the passengers in the plane, it's unknown how many are in the plane at this time. We do know there are deaths in the plane, but we don't know how many or who the passengers are. Obviously, at this time, we just request, neighbors to stay back at this point. Let us do our investigation. We have the FAA, the NTSB are en route to the scene to help with the investigation. We also have our investigators en route. Akron Police Department is obviously assisting at the scene here.
Can you tell us if there were no injuries? Now, you said house or home. We had heard apartment complexes. Are they small apartments? Is it a house?
The one house that it did hit, it appears to be a single house or a single family house. We have spoken with the owner of that house, and he had confirmed that nobody was inside that house at this time. That house is completely destroyed, so when we first arrived, we didn't know if anybody was in that house, and the walls on the house are unstable, so we didn't, us able to search that house, anything was not practical at that time. But it has been confirmed since then that nobody was inside that house at the time of the crash. So at this time, we're just dealing with the possible occupants that are inside that plane.
No injuries anywhere on the ground, and we were told that the pilot and the co-pilot were killed. Are you saying there could be others on board the plane?
It's possible. Like I say, the plane is a 10-passenger plane, so there could be other passengers. But due to the severity of the fire that has occurred because of the crash, it's going to be a matter of time until we figure out how many occupants or who those occupants are inside that plane.
Any stress call at all?
I don't know that.
Any witness accounts of weather problems or witnesses saying that the plane was in any trouble? We had heard some witnesses talk about the plane's wing may have turned. Have you heard anything like that? Or
I haven't heard anything like that. That's obviously questions that we will get answered. I just don't have those, at this time. We have our aviation section, who's also helping out with, who's more familiar with the planes and the operations at the airport. They're helping with the investigation, so they're going to help answer those questions.
Trooper, again, one real quick. So the plane clipped one house and went off to another and into an embankment. Again, please.
That's correct. It actually clipped telephone wires or electrical wires to begin with, and then a house, and then an embankment. And then the debris and the fire extended on until an additional house that isn't quite as damaged as the original house that was struck by the plane.
But in that original house, no injuries, no fatalities, other than maybe what was some of the individuals that were on the plane.
Right. No injuries or fatalities at this time with anybody inside the house or anybody on the ground at this time. We're just dealing with the occupants inside the plane at this point.
Were they not home or did they escape?
They were not home.
Okay, so thank you.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry, we were just doing live shots. I need to catch up if you don't mind.
As far as people on the ground, Mogador Road's a busy road between sort of the back way of the highway. I mean, how lucky are people who've been driving by? Where there was a school bus in the area and everything else?
Well, obviously, yeah, I mean, the situation could have been worse. Granted, if anybody was home or you have, like you said, people, I mean, it did cross over a road. I don't know how high it was when it crossed over that road. Obviously, it was low enough to strike the telephone wires or the electrical wires. But yeah, I mean, definitely it could have been a lot worse. But however, we are dealing with, occupants right now that are deceased at this time. And it's unfortunate that that did occur. So I tell you what, we'll plan on maybe something at a later time. I'll let you know how soon we can give you guys an update, whether it's going to be an hour from now or 2 hours from now. But obviously, we'll give you an update, and we do want to answer some of those questions, and we'll be getting back with you on that. So, again, it's Staff Lieutenant Bill Haymaker, the Highway Patrol, the Cleveland District of the Highway Patrol.
We were doing a live shot right when you were doing this. Melanie, hang on. Hi, Bob.
I'll tell you what, I'll come over separately. Okay. All right, thanks.